Alright, so I have my piece ready to tape up. I still have the tape on the backs from when I did the pouring. Alright, I always leave that on until I've done the resining. So, first step is to get my masking tape around the edge, and I use the interior decorating. It's the Bear Norton masking tape that I picked up from Bunnings. This one really sticks nicely to the sides. All I do is secure it to the sides, make sure it sticks down really well. Really pressing that down. Alright, so there's my wall. Okay, but as an extra precaution, I'm just going to put some more tape around it, but going from underneath this time. Okay, extra precaution. When I first pour my resin on, I don't want to lose any off the edges. So I come back after about an hour and 3/4, up to 2 hours, and then I'll come and take my sides off. And because the resin has already cured slightly, it will still come off the sides, which is what I want, but it's not going to run like crazy. Okay, so we'll secure the tape, this tape underneath. So just sit it on like that, push it down, we go there, and I'll just do that, working my way around. So that's ready. I'll place that under here, and now I'll start pre-spraying my room with water. Alright, because now it's time to minimise the dust before I pour. So I've got everything ready. I've got my part A, my part B of my resin here. I've got my fire extinguisher, I have my lighters and my burners. Alright, always have a fire extinguisher handy when playing with fire and around flammable equipment. So, alright, I'm going to get ready for the next step. Okay, so now I'm ready to mix 200 ml of resin for it's about a 19.5 centimetre size. So I want a 200 ml, gives it a nice cover. So I'll use, oh bugger, oh no, now I can't get my little lid off. I'll use 100 ml of each. So 100 ml of a part A and a part B. just want to wipe that. Wipe it around the lid, otherwise I won't be able to take my lids off anymore. They'll stick. So I'll just make sure the lids are on properly. On my part A and my part B. Okay. Alright. Give that a nice stir. Just get that out of the way. Give it a good stir for about a minute or so, and I don't keep it in the hot water for the whole time I mix. Get my lid up. Alright, ready to pour on. Let's do it. That's well and truly mixed. Okay, let's just get it on there. Could maybe get away with doing 150 ml for these, but that I find that 200 ml just gives it a beautiful colour. The sort of, yeah, could be maybe a nice 3 ml top. Alright. Now, just want to burst the bubbles, and we want to keep that flame moving, because if we don't, that tape will catch on fire, okay? We don't want that, so just keep it moving. And I'll just let that sit for a while. I'll come back in 5 minutes and I'll burst some more bubbles. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. I've just given it a quick pre-spray. I do that before I have my lights on. Okay, so cautious, water and electricity. Always be very cautious when you're doing your resining. Alright, so we get the torch on there. Nice finger. I can bursting some more bubbles. Keep that flame running over. And that should do it, okay? For now, lid down. Now I'll come back in about, an hour and 3/4. I'll see you then. Okay, so now it's time to take off the sides. It's been an hour and 3/4. It's very humid today, so I can wait for the 2-hour mark, but I might take my sides off now. Okay, so I have pre-sprayed again. I always like to pre-spray. This one can go over here. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just give it a quick torch before I take the sides off. Just very quick, just making sure there's no air bubbles in there. Okay, and simply, that's where I dripped before, so it holds it in nicely, as you can see. Okay, so I've got to find my end, which I think is on this side. So this now, it will run off the edges, but I want it to at this stage, because I want a good coverage down my edges. I'll take this one off first, and let's just get, actually I might cut it. I haven't left enough of my edge to peel it off. Alright, so here goes. That's what we want. Okay, I'll just give it a nice bit of pressure around the edges, make sure I get a really good coverage there, and I am. It's lovely. Still nice and fluid, so all I want to make sure is that I give it good pressure around my edges, like so. Just scrape that off. Not worried about that. I'm going to get the torch on there. Right, I've gone all the way around, so let's just put that down and torch it. Right, simple, just torch. Being very careful as you go around. There, that's all I'm doing now. I'm just going to let it be. That'll do. So again, lid down. Yes, I will have runoff, but now that it's had time to thicken a bit, I'm going to end up having a really awesome coverage. Alright, so let's see how this resin went. Alright, so it's been well and truly 24 hours now since I resin this piece, and it was ready last night, but it was too late to do the video after I finished work. So let's have a look. Are you ready? The unveiling. Okay, so you can see, look at that little stringies. I'll just break that off. So you are going to have a little bit of a runoff, but because we've taken the sides off after a couple of hours, we don't have a major loss of resin. Let's break those strings. Than others, then snap that off. Ah, we got it. So there it is. That's looking really good. Which way? Beautiful. I have a beautiful smooth finish on my edges. It's run down and given it the perfect coverage, and that's my desired finish. Okay, so these, then I will just sand these off. Okay, and if there would have been any dust or blemishes in my resin, I'd also give that a mild sand or a cut and polish, but this piece looks pretty good. Next step is sanding the back. All right, next stage is to peel the backing off and then give it a sand. So I prefer to use an orbital sander. Okay, and when I take the resin off the edges, I use I think this is an 80 grit. It just strips it nicely. If I was to have to do any sanding to the top, so I'll start at 800 grit, which is this one, and then I'll work my way up with these sanding pads from 1000 to 4000 grit. And alright, so first thing I need to do is peel off my tape. So let me just peel off my tape. Okay, easy peasy. Alright, so when you are sanding resin or MDF, make sure you wear a mask. And if you're sensitive to noise, wear earmuffs as well. Okay? Alright, so always when you do your pieces, put them down, face down on a soft cloth. Alright, how simple is that? Nice and clean. Now I'll just go around these bottom edges with 800 grit. Okay, that's my Mercer sandpaper, sanding disc. I prefer to hold it. Okay, that's done. Just simply wipe away the dust. Okay, so that's done. Beautiful edge. So then the next step, what I do is put a coat of sealant on here, and then I'll put my cork backings on. That's all there is to it. That's a beautiful resin job, wouldn't you say?